Hi, hello, and welcome to Quantum Healing Hands Tarot. So today I wanted to find out about how to get rid of baggage. We all are carrying around something, some more than others, and so I wanted to find out how to work through these bags so we aren't carrying them along and not being able to move on in our life. So if you already know which pile you want just from looking, go ahead and click the timestamp down below in the description box, and I'll meet you there. If you need a little bit more help, let's go ahead and get into some breathing. All right, I like to take 3 deep breaths. All right, so now that we're nice and relaxed, we can go ahead and look at the piles. So in pile 1, we have the cat and the Halloween deck and the tragic royalty. In pile 2, we have another cat with the friends deck and the unicorn deck. And in pile 3, we have a little, I think it's a bee or a moth. It's a flying bug. And it's with the spiritual, I think it's Spirit Song Tarot deck and the Sea King deck. So the technique I use is I close my eyes and I ask my intuition which pile to select, because I will very commonly then see a number in my mind's eye as if I was like staring at a light. So that's my kind of foolproof technique, because sometimes I can like have a preference or think one pile looks a little scarier than the other. So I always want to know which pile I'm supposed to get. So once you find out that, go ahead and click the timestamp down below and I'll meet you there. Hi, pile 1. Thank you so much for joining me today. So let's look at your baggage and how to move on from it. You chose the Tragic Royalty deck and the Halloween deck. So I'm curious if you just kind of like the dark stuff or you are in kind of just a darker place in your life. But we're going to go ahead and look at the cards and see what we got. All right, so we'll look at the charm later. So first I asked, the first thing I asked was kind of first of all, how many bags are you carrying around? And what is the root cause of those bags? So you had 3 bags. You got 3 bags you're carrying around, but we don't know the weight of them yet and their root cause. So, all right, root cause for each bag. And then I asked the weight of the bags. So swords are the heaviest. Then it goes wands, cups, and pentacles. So pentacles. And then all right. So your first bag is the Star reversed, and its weight is the King of Swords. So to me, this is the heaviest bag, and it's even in reverse. So the Star reversed is, kind of a lack of faith, feeling hopeless. And so this is definitely, if you're carrying this around, this would be the heaviest bag, because you have to have hope for your future. You have to have vision and some sort of positivity in going after your dreams. So instinctually, what's coming to me with the King of Swords is it's kind of like you have this parental figure someone who has kind of instructed your life and guided you, and it's just a very overbearing, kind of manipulative, trying to push you in a certain direction. And there was something in my last reading very, very similar to this. And it was about who you would want to fight. And instantly this energy is very familiar of like, you have hopes and dreams and you kind of want to leave where you're at, and there is an energy, there's a person that's kind of constantly trying to tell you you can't or you aren't good enough. And it's so important to listen to your own inner voice. So let's look at the next bag. So the middle bag you have carrying around doesn't weigh as much as this one, because this is just kind of, the Hermit reverse is just like isolation and apprenticeship, working, new jobs. So to me, this other bag you have carrying around, it's just kind of, you may not be, like what I'm envisioning is someone who has like started a new job or is really trying to get something going in their life. You may not be hanging out with friends as much. And so that could kind of be, you know, something that's weighing you down a little bit. To me, baggage is like emotional stuff that's gone on. So it's like, obviously, whatever you're working at and what you're doing right now, I think it's just like this baggage to me is just kind of from experience and life and just kind of the little woes that we collect along the way. It doesn't feel as painful or heavy like this one. Like this is like a rucksack. Like this has got it all. This is like a little fanny pack kind of. Like this is just a little fanny pack of pain. And as things happen to you and you go on in life, you had a bad day at work. It goes into the fanny pack. They're minor though. They're like grains of salt, but if you collect enough of those, it does become very heavy, but I don't suspect yours is very heavy right now. So let's go on to the next bag. Interesting. So this was a very fatherly energy, and this is a very motherly energy. It could be the same person, but what this one is a little bit more connected to is kind of the illusions you have and your fears towards life. Like this one is not as heavy as this one, but this is a good medium weight bag that like, it's kind of one of those things of like, if you hold it up at first, it doesn't seem that bad, but maybe after like an hour of holding it, you're like, holy shit, this thing's heavy. That's what this one feels like. And so I'm wondering if this one is kind of from your mother. Like the energy I'm getting is like, one of the energies I'm getting is like this mother energy that has kind of, okay, like, because one of the descriptions of Seven of Wands reversed is overly protective. Queen of Pentacles is a very motherly energy. And so I'm curious if this sort of like overprotective energy has kind of created this illusion of fear of like, hey, this didn't work out for me. Maybe you shouldn't try it. That's kind of scary. You know what I mean? Like the motherly energy is just kind of sowing in fear. This one is a very masculine energy, and this is kind of like, this is like the suggestion. This is the flat out like, why do you think you can do it? That's ridiculous. So, and it's extremely heavy. Like this is, like I said, like a rucksack. This is fat. This has so much emotions behind it and life behind it. Like they both do. And so I can completely see why just your everyday occurrences are not as heavy of baggage, but maybe what could happen is like you could kind of try and act like this is all you really want to talk about. You're like, oh, I know. Look what's inside my fanny pack. And it's like, you have deeper issues going on. The baggage you're carrying around of just like lack of faith and fear. But I really believe this is something that was instilled in you. So let's go ahead and look at how to resolve and unload these bags. So this first pile really makes me happy that this is this is the solution right now, because in the hardest of times, like whether it's like you're lost at sea or literally just going through something really hard, this symbol is something that Vikings used to draw on themselves. And so a lot of people get it tattooed on their body, and it kind of ensures that no matter what happens to you, you will never be lost. And that to me is so important. Like what's coming through to me, for me, what's coming through to me, for you, is that this is kind of a literal, this is, because if you're struggling with having faith, your advice really can't be have faith. But maybe a literal thing you can do is look up this symbol. It's like Vegvisir, I think. Vegvisir. 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 And like the I has an apostrophe on it. But it's called like the Viking compass. And that's because it has like magical properties to protect you. And I think this is what's going to protect you from this. So this is kind of a literal like thing of what to do to help find your way. I'm curious. This middle pile makes me think about like your middle baggage. Like, I'm wondering if you are actually kind of in a situation, it could be a job, it could be a relationship that doesn't really satisfy you. But like I said, it doesn't weigh as much as these bags. So you may not even notice it. You may not think that it's as bad. You're like, what? It's this tiny little fanny pack. But this card just says it's so important to know yourself. Like it is life's most important task to know who you truly are. So if you're at a job you're not happy with, please, please, please find that path towards your soul's purpose. If you are in a relationship that you think multiple times a day, why am I here? I don't want to be in this relationship. Please, please, please leave that relationship. I understand not everything is like easy peasy, but like make plans, because that's what this card says to do. That's how to unload that baggage. Is if you're carrying around this baggage that maybe you feel isolated from people and you don't like what you're doing that's causing that isolation. This is literally saying to leave and move on. So what's funny to me that Freya comes up, and I was saying that this is the mother energy, because this card literally says like feminine energy is as equally as powerful as masculine energy. And I have this feeling like whoever this individual is, they have really, like I said, they try to sew in and ingrain in you doubt and just low self-esteem, or taking it away entirely. So this card just says like, find your depth, find that, because intelligence is far more important than physical beauty. And I have a feeling that like physical beauty has probably been extremely important and a focus point. And that can truly, when you're made to focus on your outer body, it sometimes can distract us from where we're going in life. So I think these are the 3 bags you have. This one, this hopelessness and this negative father energy, find this symbol, and if not literally get it tattooed, like, hey, maybe you're like someone who's covered in tattoos and like that's no big shakes, that's a good one to get. Otherwise, drawing it on yourself, painting it, just keeping it close to you, but having it on your body. So like it comes in jewelry a lot. This one is just saying like you're feeling really isolated right now. And what's funny is it doesn't weigh as much as these. So maybe this person constantly validates your problems with your parents. And so it's like you feel kind of safe there. But I think there's a journey for you to start. I think you could really start something new. Like, look at these 3 women. Strong, strong, strong. So I think, and this illusion and fear baggage you have carrying around with this maternal energy attached to it. This is just saying like, know that there's far more to life than beauty. And yeah, magic has come up a couple times with both of your parents. So I just think by believing and seeing your future, you can really change things. So the last one, this is going to be your unseen weight. Sometimes we're carrying around things that we don't even know we're carrying around. So this is the rune for Jera, and it's kind of about like harvest and hard work. And so the unseen weight that I'm picking up on is that maybe kind of somewhere in the back of your mind, you are not happy with where you've gone and your level of success. And honestly, like, this is holding you back. These 3 bags are heavy and not helping you move forward. Because like this rune is literally saying, if you don't put in the work, you won't have the reward. And I don't think you don't want to put in the work towards your goals. I just think you've been putting work in towards people pleasing. And, you know, I'm sure this to me is a far more like a confrontational energy. So I don't think it's like people pleasing, but this person has definitely torn down your hopes. And this energy is very heavy. This one is just like, I think this will be the easiest one for you to move on from. But here are 3 literal steps of know that beauty is in everything. Write down this Viking compass. And I implore you to find something, some hobby, something you've always wanted to do, whether it's color your hair a certain thing, get a tattoo that you've never gotten, like something. I implore you to do something that is true to your spirit, because nothing happens overnight. So just know that you want to start towards a new hobby. I think these are connected. So there's a true part of you that you have not been tapping into. And spirits just want, your spirit guides want you to know, like, you are strong, you are brave and beautiful. And I think you have a whole new direction in life coming. So Pile 1, thank you so much. That's where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the message, and if you liked it, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated, and if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It has been an absolute honor. Every single day I get new subscribers and comments. It's just an absolute blessing. So thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in the future. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, baggage, it can get heavy. How do we drop it off? How do we move on? Because sometimes we think we're moving on and we look down and the bag is still in our hand. So, I would love to find out all these questions for you. So, let's get started. All right, so you chose the little guy. We'll look at there's a rune on the back. We'll look at that at the end. So first of all, I asked, so you're using the Unicorn deck and the Friends deck. So I'm curious if you have kind of a little bit more of a brighter look on outlook on life. If you just, I'm excited to find out what these are. So I asked how many bags you got. You got 2 bags. Ooh, heavy baggage. So those are your bags that you're carrying around, and I asked how much do they weigh? Interesting, interesting, interesting. So the first bag that you're carrying around is the Fool. And with the Ace of Pentacles reversed and the Two of Wands, this is telling me that the bag you're carrying around, it's a good chunky bag. It's medium weight, and like literally what he's carrying. And in the way that it may feel light at first, it does get heavier over time. But what this is telling me is the baggage that you're carrying around is like, I feel like you're kind of starting, like you're young, you're starting life new. And, you know, if you're not like number wise young, you're in a place where maybe you wouldn't traditionally be, or you would think somebody would be at your age. And so there's this sort of innocence that comes around you. And it's like, you're really excited. You're like hopeless romantic. So it's like, this is interesting baggage because like, I think, because what this is like an opportunity that didn't happen, didn't like follow through, something that didn't work out. So I'm thinking you're kind of like trying to figure out where to go next. Like the Two of Wands is like planning and like really like mapping things out. So I think that is kind of maybe weighing on you. Like you're a little nervous of like, where am I going in life? Where am I going next? You know, you've tried probably several things, maybe moved to different cities, tried different jobs. Like, I think you really just want to know where to go. I do have answers for that at the end, but let's look at your second bag. So the second bag that you are carrying around, I'm kind of, you know, after kind of calculating everything together. So this is a heavy bag. This is a heavy, heavy bag. This is creative block and just kind of depending on others too much. This is like hasteness, like kind of sometimes like doing things without thinking. And like the Six of Wands reversed is like egotism or like things not working out. So I'm really feeling like something didn't work out for you, and where you ended up, like maybe you had to move back in with your mom or something. And it's sort of this feeling of like, you don't want to live at home. You don't want to depend on other people, which I totally understand. There's a time and a place for everything. It's about mapping out where you're going and not leaping before you look, basically, because that's kind of the Fool. The Fool is kind of about to walk off the edge and is so excited. And it's like, I think you're trying not to have what happened already happen again. And so this bag is just like, the low self-esteem here, it's not lack of confidence, but it's this interesting low self-esteem. Like you have that confidence of somebody who like just goes forward and does it and tries new things all the time. But I feel like sadly what happens is every failure, I feel like you kind of hold that onto that. And so these are heavy. This is a really heavy bag. This is a medium bag. But this is like, to me, it almost feels like a trunk, you know? Like where you open it up and there's like spots for hanging clothes and there's drawers and like, oh, trunks are amazing, but they hold a lot. So I think there is a lot of layers going on here. I think there's a lot of shadow work that needs to be done. Because baggage is, well, baggage. So the next, I asked how to resolve and unload the bags. So with the first pile, or with your first bag, when Loki comes up, it's just kind of saying to like take a lighter approach to life. Like I feel like maybe you're holding on to the failure of a new adventure every time because you don't want to fail. So if you have not the outcome you want, this is just saying like don't be so hard on yourself. It's okay. Not everything's going to work out, but now is the time to kind of Loki always kind of talks about needing to have clear speech. So maybe there's something you wanted to do where you're talking to people, like maybe you wanted a YouTube channel or something like that where you are getting to something that's fun like that. So maybe that's something to consider. And your next bag, I'm really happy that you have Thor here because Thor is going to be the one that can help support you with your trunk. I think it's time to I think the lack of confidence is going to be subsided when you keep making those efforts forward, because like this literally says like the time for action is now, and I don't think you have any problem with like doing things when you're excited to do it. Kind of what I'm hearing is like the best way to get through this creative block is just make shit, make bad stuff, make bad, like don't be afraid of having this perfectionist idea of like it didn't turn out right before. It's like that's okay. Adjust, rebrand. Like maybe you tried a channel before on YouTube and it just didn't make you feel right. Like it wasn't what you wanted to do. So it's like this is just saying like to get through the creative block, it's literally kind of saying just run forward and fast. Because you have what it takes. You have such a light spirit about you that it's like I'm excited for you that but man, this trunk is weighing you down, and the best way to unload it is to move. It's kind of that thing of like it may seem heavier than it is. Like maybe you didn't realize like your trunk actually has like wheels at the bottom. Like yeah, it's going to be hard to get going and move forward, and that's what I'm getting at is that this is a heavy energy, but this just the suggestion of how to resolve and move on is to start moving forward. Everything will start picking up and it'll make more sense. So the charm that I selected, it's a cat with a bow, but so the rune on the back. Oh, okay. Yeah. So this is an unseen weight. This is something you aren't even aware of that's kind of weighing you down. So what this one is telling me is it's literally, because this is Kanaz, but because it's kind of an unseen weight, I'm kind of reading it reversed. And what it's saying is like, you can't try and be a perfectionist. That's actually what it's saying is like, you have to go through things and be okay with things being not perfect every time, because that is what is going to raise you into the strong person you're going to be. Because it's either you have someone that's kind of jealous of you and like doesn't want you to surpass them in life, and so they're kind of trying to secretly chisel away at your confidence, or you're not actually confronting enough of your own shadows and being aware of what is holding you back. Sometimes just being aware of why we aren't moving forward faster is the best way to get us to move forward faster. So, all right, pile 2. Let's see. Yeah, you got these 2 bags. It's just 2. I see literally, like, I love that Joey has a bag over his shoulder. Just take life a little bit easier. Just have fun, learn to speak what you want clearly. Like I said, I was getting the energy of like you having a YouTube channel or doing something where you're talking to people. And over here, your heavier bag is like things have not worked out exactly how you've wanted them to, or more, I should say, envisioned. Like maybe you feel like you have like psychic visions and you're like, well, they're not working out. And it's like, that means they haven't come to fruition yet. Just believe, have strength in yourself and in everything you are doing. Confront maybe the reasons why you haven't moved forward. It may be more fear-based. You know, is this connected to a certain person? Is there somebody who's like really jealous of you and kind of feeding negative thoughts into your head? So this stuff is just important to reflect on if you have somebody around you who doesn't want the best for you. So, okay, pile 2. These are your bags. This is your baggage. Sometimes the how to fix it is always a little like nonchalant, but sometimes the best concepts actually need to be simple. That doesn't mean they're actually simple to enact, but the idea of them should always be simple. If it's a complex idea, you're going to get lost in the work. So, okay, pile 2, let's end it here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you found something that resonated. And if you liked it, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. If you love this message, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's been an absolute honor. Every single day I get a comment or subscription. Like, just thank you for participating. And I hope to continue to guide you and see you in the future. Have a great day. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, baggage, how do we get rid of it? How do we move on? We all got it. I asked all those questions today and we have some advice cards. So let's go ahead and get started. So you chose the Spirit Song and the Sea King. So to me, this is kind of like just a very mystical energy. So I'm really excited to read yours. The other two were just very kind of straightforward energy. So you got the, I don't know if this is a bee or a moth, but like I said, it is a winged bug. Let's go over here. So, all right. So I first asked, how many bags you have and what the root cause of each bag is and how much each bag weighs. Me long enough to figure out how to get them all fitting. All right. Wow. Oh my God. Wow. Okay, let's check this out. All right. So the first bag that you're carrying around is represented by the Strength card. And with its weight, so I have swords weighing the heaviest, wands, cups, then pentacles. So to me, this is like a medium bag, you know, with it both being, oh gosh, what are those called? The court cards. This is telling me like this is just reading like one of the bags that you carry around is being the strong one, being the responsible one, being the leader, being the person who has things all figured out. And like that is baggage. That is something that you're carrying around because you're like, sometimes it's nice to be strong and not have everyone need you. And I feel like you're kind of in this, you carry this bag around of like, I feel like you are really, really important, whether it's at your job or in your family or relationship, but that's baggage. And it's like, I kind of get, like I said, it's kind of a medium bag. So I'm reading that as, it's not even something I think you're mad about. It's just something you carry around, and sometimes it can get too heavy. So what I find really interesting about the second bag, the Empress reverse, is literally says, it literally says to, if things aren't working, to kind of remove emotional burdens. And I think that Wands and Pentacles again. So this kind of is the same. I wonder if this is not only the same weight, but like carried in the same bag together. Because, oh wow, look at that. Yeah, like this is one bag and okay, but so sorry. So the weight of this bag is pretty medium, and it's just about, oh, there's some sort of like, you feel really, okay, so now that I'm really focusing on the energy, sorry, sometimes I do have bad ADHD. This energy is connecting here because it's telling me that this weighs you down. This does, I think, in the way of like, this is who you want to be. So it's a struggle because I think you don't see how constantly possibly taking care of other people and planning for other people and having everyone else's lives laid out for them by you has caused your goals and your dreams, like your harmony and peaceful life. It's made you feel very isolated, and because maybe you don't have the shoulder to cry on. And so when the Empress is reversed, it's just saying, please take time out to restore balance and harmony. This bag, this is a pretty heavy bag. So I think this is just, I mean, I do have advice cards, so we'll look at those actually before I go into any of my personal opinions. So the next bag though, so something, the third bag that you're carrying around, like, this one does weigh more than those two. This to me is kind of connected to, well, your passion and your emotions. I'm getting that there's been a big change. Like something has changed. Something has completely shifted directions, and like maybe it was something you thought that was going to work out one way, didn't. And so what you're kind of, I feel like this is the heaviest bag you're carrying around. And it makes sense. It's the Tower card. This is all about like change and adapting to change. But you have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Cups. And because of the baggage aspect, I'm kind of looking at them reversed. And it's really, this has caused, I think, a lot of internal struggle. I feel like you are possibly having a hard time connecting. Like, I can only reflect on times in my life when I've been going through huge Tower moments. And I just kind of had this like level of stress underneath that I couldn't get past, that I couldn't ignore. If someone bumped into me, I was instantly angry because of what was inside of me. And it's so important to work through this stuff. Like I said, I do have advice cards, but so this is your heaviest bag. Just whatever big change is going on has kind of caused a lack of peace inside of you. So with the Emperor here, like this kind of makes me think of the Strength card, and you know, it being 4 and that 8, like that kind of makes sense to me. So the Emperor here is saying like, I think a piece of baggage that you have carrying around, like, so this is the need to take care, like how much people rely on you. And this to me is how much you rely on yourself. And I think you may be overwhelmed and kind of possibly getting bored and afraid you're going to give up. So like, this is heavier than these bags, but it's lighter than this one. So what I'm getting from the Emperor here is it's just saying like, the piece of baggage that you're carrying around, that you're struggling moving on from, is kind of, I think, trusting in yourself again. Trusting in your focus and moving forward, and not you know, if you've kind of gone through this whole restructure, like, because of the, yeah, I think these are in the same bag, and I think these are the same bag. So you have like 2 huge rolly suitcases. And I feel like to other people, they're like, well, your bags have wheels on them. That's not too hard. But I don't know if you've ever been rushing and moving quickly and holding onto those bags. Like, you have all wands here. So this is all very passionate, fast moving, strong energy. And it's like, if you've ever been running with 2 of those wheelie bags and one of them like gets all lopsided, it's all going down. It is all going down. So you have 2 gigantic bags, and I feel like you are trying to get to your destination, and it's kind of like, oh, how do we work through this baggage? How do we release some of this crap so we aren't carrying it around? So I got tons of advice cards for you. So let's go ahead. So what's coming to me for this first bag of the strength card that I was talking about, how I feel like you just have a lot of responsibility on you. You're kind of like the leader of the group. What this is kind of saying is actually find somebody who probably has experience with the same thing of like, find an elder, somebody who can kind of give you some advice that you may not be expecting. And with the soul card, this is all about the sun. She is just saying like positivity is so important, and being patient and understanding that, hold on. So soul just wants to remind you to like stay around positive people. This is a very sensitive time. Like, yeah, find an elder or somebody who's done what you're doing and struggling with, and they can give you advice. And just find those positive people that can really help advise you with what you're going through. It's wanting you to know that like your situation will improve, and pretty quickly. I think things are already changing. Your cycles are ending, and because this is quite a cycle right here. I'm sure you're just kind of ready for people to not need you the same way that they always have. And I think you have passions, and you kind of want to move forward and see where they're going to go. So know that you have looked out for other people for so long, and it's just important to start looking out for yourself. I think I give that message pretty frequently. So this is cool. So this was the bag that was kind of about like creative blocks and just kind of feeling isolated and not being able to work towards what you maybe want to. These both actually talk about kind of creating your destiny and your future. And so I think it's important to look at where you're going, what you've been working on, and kind of the who, what, where, and whys. Truthfully, I have so many readings you can check out that will help you with this sort of stuff. So if you want more help, please check out my catalog. I do a lot of videos about personal help, because to me, all the other things don't really matter, like love and personal, pleasure, if you don't have that growth. So this just wants you to know that, like, even though this bag you're carrying around that's connected to this one, it's important to take this into your own hands, honestly. You have been focusing on so many other people, and it is, I mean, this is heavy baggage. And I think you've just kind of been promising yourself for a long time you were going to drop it along the way. And I don't know if you have yet. So to me, so this was the bag that was all about like some big change has happened, and it's probably caused some sort of like inner feelings. What this card is saying is it's really important to make a decision on something. So, and understand that everything's connected. Good, bad, light, dark, birth, death, like everything's a cycle. And so with one thing ending, you're actually creating connections to everything else. Don't be stuck in one world. There are 9 worlds here. You can but this advice to get rid of this baggage that you're carrying around is kind of just saying, make a decision. I don't know what you're deciding between, but something has ended for sure. And it's very, very important that we actually follow through with those things. Like I just heard, like, it's kind of like you got to take out garbage on garbage day. Otherwise, the garbage just sits there and piles up. I feel like you have some, like, this baggage kind of is starting to feel like garbage. Like maybe the things you packed when you started this journey seemed really important at the time. But if your job changed, your relationship changed, something changed, you're like, I don't even need this anymore. I've been carrying this thing around to take care of other people and be there for other people. And I haven't been able to carry the things I need to make my plans follow through. You know, it's like, it's like, if you literally are on a trip and, you know, everyone's asking you to carry their extra things because they don't have room in their bag. And it's like, no. You only have enough bags and room for your own stuff. So this is all kind of coming very clearly together. So the Emperor, this to me is just such a I'm just feeling like the drained energy. Like you have just been going so long. Things haven't been working out. You've been giving all your energy to people. You've gone through this big change and now you're just kind of like, I'm tired. So how do we get rid of this bag? What these 2 cards tell me. So this is kind of all about like taking refuge and like trying to find peace because I feel the drained energy. But the Valkyrie wants you to know that like this battle that you're kind of facing right now, because it is a battle, just have faith in your strengths. Like what's cool is like, I don't see a lack of faith in yourself actually at all. I think you have believed in yourself so much and have just gone forward. And it's almost more frustrating because you're like, why hasn't this worked out? I believe in myself. I'm thinking there is a leak somewhere and it's going to other people. Like the Valkyries want you to know, like, don't live up to other people's expectations. Live up to your expectations. I think it's just time for you to step in and give yourself the strength and respect that you have given so many other people. Like these are 2 very almost equally weighing bags, but they are gigantic. Like you're carrying baggage around that has bags on bags on bags. Like you open it up and it's like, oh, look at these other little bags that store all this and this and this. And you have stored so much emotional baggage because look, you're a very passionate person and passion comes from somewhere. But I feel like when things aren't working out for you, it really hurts. And I feel like rather than kind of facing that emotion and accepting like, hey, things sometimes don't always turn out the way we want, but rather you're like, oh, that sucks. Maybe I'm a failure. And that emotion gets tucked away and you put it in your bag. And all of a sudden you're walking around with two 200-pound bags. And everyone's like, what? They're on wheels. You look like you're doing fine. It's like, because you're a strong person, I'm sure you look like you aren't struggling that much. The advice is look to somebody who you can get advice from, literally. I don't think I mentioned it. This one just really wants you to avoid like gossip and like the negative energies that you can really get. The people who are taking your energy and your strength, just avoid them at all costs. They are not doing anything good for you. This one is like, you have full control over your reality and your future. Sometimes we don't realize that when we plug in a destination into our, spiritual GPS system, we don't always realize that sometimes that's going to take us through hard roads. And yeah, sometimes we're going to have these tower moments, but make a decision on something and know that everything's connected, so you're never going to make a wrong choice. And let that ease you up. Just relax if possible. And this one just wants you to not only take refuge, like I feel like you kind of need to avoid that whole world. 8 of the 9 worlds, you just need to go to one of them right now and like protect yourself and just don't give up. Don't get bored. Know that you are just in a really, really hard place right now. And, but the Valkyrie card wants you to know like you will be successful. So let's find out what your unseen weight is. Because sometimes if you're focused on these 2 bags, you're maybe not even going to notice the unseen weight. Interesting. So what this one is telling me, so this is Gabo. But in because it's an unseen weight, I'm reading it reversed. And this is kind of actually saying like there may be somebody who actually is like sending you bad energy. Like that's what I'm getting, is that one of these people who you've actually been good to and helping is actually sending you bad energy. But don't worry, this ensures that justice will always prevail, and anything they're sending to you is literally going right back to them. So this is actually kind of like about protection. And so just know that, yeah, that kind of makes sense. So it's like, I imagine like as you've been working through life and kind of emptying your baggage here and there and like, oh, okay, well, I worked through this. This person is secretly like hiding rocks inside of your bag. And you're like, I swear I've been working through this stuff. Why isn't it feeling easier? And I think there's literally a net, like, okay, yeah, because remember I kept saying like this isn't like a bee or it's like a winged creature, almost like a wasp, like something annoying. Like there is a terrible, awful, annoying energy here that 100% I get now, of like, there just felt like something else was going on here. Somebody was making dirty choices and actions towards you. And so you do have a lot going on, pile 3, but I just want you to know, like, you can get through this. Please know you have control over your life. Just kind of protect yourself from these people. If you know exactly who this person is, oh, look at that, X marks the spot. Wonder what that means. I think it maybe it's something you have to kind of plot out and retrace your steps. Okay, if this is what's going on? How did I get here? And you kind of have to work your way back. I think you kind of have to I think you kind of need to retrace your steps right now and figure out who is, if you don't know, who is possibly trying to sabotage you a little bit. And that's sarcasm because it's a lot bit. So pile 3, I'm going to leave it there. Like I said, I have a lot of other readings you can check out that can help you. This was just to kind of examine the baggage you're carrying around and some advice. So I hope you were able to find something today that helped. If you like this message, I would love for you to give it a little thumbs up. That lets me know that the reading resonated. And if you loved it, I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of my channel. It's been an absolute honor that I get to channel your energy and share my intuitive messages. So I hope to see you in future readings, and have a great day. Bye.